Hello, my name is Brie, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel, Breezy Banter, a place where I talk about the things I want to talk about. In today's video, I decided that I wanted to do a tag video. If you're unfamiliar with tags, it's usually just a series of questions that creators then come on to answer. I got this particular tag video idea from Glitter Fallout, who is an answer to at least one of these questions, and I'll be sure to link her channel down below. But I watched her video on this topic about 6 years ago or so, and it looked like a lot of fun because it's about the content creators that I myself watch. As I mentioned in the intro to my entire channel video, I first and foremost want to create the type of content that I myself enjoy watching. So I think by answering these questions, it will give you a sense of the content creators I watch and the type of content that you can expect from me, given that I'll be emulating at least some of these creators a little bit in my future videos. Also, I'll make a disclaimer up front that of all the people that I'm going to mention, they are people that I've followed for several years now, and I enjoy their work, I appreciate their work, I respect their work. While I don't know any of these individuals personally, they all seem very kind, so being an answer to one of the questions should not imply that I don't think similar things about any of the other creators that I failed to mention. So the first question is, who is a creator that makes you laugh? And for this I had to say, Teresa is Dead. If you're not familiar with Teresa is Dead, she does a lot of review type content, but she'll do try-ons, and my favorite video series from her is her new makeup releases, Makeup Bingo. Teresa is a really funny storyteller as well, particularly when she lived in New York. She would do just occasional story type content, and they were so funny. She really has a knack for storytelling, and sometimes when she's telling a story, she'll laugh as she's saying it, and I find that really endearing, and it never fails to make me laugh in response. The next question is, who is a creator that teaches you? And for this I have two answers. The first person is Shauna Rapari. If you're not familiar with Shauna, she does a lot of ethical consumerism type content, but what I think is unique about her is that she'll often reference actual studies or books where she's read facts about what she's talking about. So while there is value in having someone provide advice based on their own life experience, there's also value in having someone say, this is what the science says. And so I really respect Shauna for going that extra mile and finding the studies, finding the evidence behind what she says. And she'll often bring up new concepts that I'm not familiar with, and I love hearing about it and reading about it and hearing her take on it. While I don't agree with everything that she says, most of my disagreements with her content are minor nitpicking differences. I really think if you're interested in ethical consumerism or mindful consumerism, and you want someone who has a wide variety of content in this space, Shauna is a great person to follow. The next person that teaches me is Zoe Pritchard. If you're not familiar with Zoe, she does a lot of financial type content, and she's probably the number one person that I watch for that type of content. She does monthly budgeting and check-ins, and what I find really useful is that she'll provide actual numbers. So some of the budgeting content that I watch and do enjoy doesn't give the actual numbers, and I understand why. There's a level of privacy that people might want. It can be intimidating to share your income, for example, on the internet. But what I really respect about Zoe is she gives you those numbers. She tells you how much she made. She'll tell you the exact number that she has in her investments, that she had on credit card debt, etc. And if you're trying to figure these things out for yourself, I think it's most useful to have actual numbers as opposed to necessarily percentages to help guide you along. By this I mean, for example, there's a lot of advice that will say that you should spend 50% of your income on needs. So for example, housing, 30% of your income on wants. So that might be dining out, for example, and 20% on saving. That said, those percentages are great and all and are a good starting point for a lot of people, but spending 50% of your income on your needs, such as housing and groceries, that means something quite a bit different if you're making $20,000 a year versus $200,000 a year versus $2 million a year. And so I don't think it's really useful to have someone give very generic advice. I want to see actual numbers. And Zoe provides that in her videos. Also, I think Zoe's really open about her financial journey. And again, that's really beneficial to a viewer who sometimes struggles with some of the same things. Oftentimes I don't, but it's something that I could potentially struggle with. And so seeing how she figures these things out for herself also helps me think about it and how it could apply to my life as well.
Hi, it's Editing Brie here. Unfortunately, the video for the next question has some problem with it. I'm not sure if it's corrupted or what. While I could cut this question out of the video entirely, I didn't want to do that because my answer to this question is actually one of my favorite creators, and so I did just want to mention her and to answer the question fully. I'm editing on a different day, and I also filmed already today, and so I'm already wearing makeup, I already have an outfit on. I think it would be really jarring to see me in a different setup just for this one question and then go back to the way it was. I figured I would just film it this way. I'm pretty sure I figured out what the issue is, so going forward I should be able to avoid this in the future. The next question is, who is a creator you respect? And for this, my answer is e.l.f. The reason for this is because e.l.f. is someone that I've been watching for several years now, and I think in one of her very, very old videos, probably like 7 or 8 years old at this point, she mentioned that she commuted an hour and a half one way, so 3 hours total in commute time every day, to her full-time job, and this was at a time when she was putting out like 5 YouTube videos a week, which is a ton of work. I'm impressed that she was that committed to what could, I think, aptly be described both of her jobs, even if she wasn't necessarily making money from YouTube at that time, I'm not sure. But that level of commitment is incredible, and it's something that I really respect. I think to be able to put out 5 videos a week while at the same time working a full-time job indicates a true desire to be a part of this community and to provide input into the community, and I really like that. Additionally, I could be mistaken, but I believe e.l.f. has a degree in science, perhaps even a master's degree in science. Again, I can't quite remember, but that is something that I think is worthy of respect. Something else that has always, let's say, sparked joy in me is that e.l.f. is, for all intents and purposes, from what I can tell, very true to herself as a person. She describes herself as a happy clown. She knows that she likes bright, colorful makeup. I believe she recently turned 40, and I think people over the age of 40, over the age of 50, over the age of 90 can wear what it is that they want to wear. I like seeing people who do what it is that they want to do regardless of what society thinks about it. And so when I see someone like her who's rocking a very bright, colorful look, I think it's incredible. I really enjoy seeing people stay true to themselves and true to what they like. And so I think, despite what society might say about 40 being old, I don't consider it to be old. I think aging is a privilege. All of these things that we could talk about. Separate from that, I think that her wearing the types of makeup that she enjoys is something worthy of respect. Okay, back to regular scheduled programming.
The next question is, who is a creator that inspires creativity in you? And for this, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce the name. It's either Mimmels or Mimleys. But I'll include a few pictures of some of her work in this video. She is so creative. It is absolutely wild. I've shared her stuff with so many of my friends because there are things that I see where I'm like, that cannot be real. That simply, it can't be done. And then she'll like blink or something in the makeup that she's wearing, and it's like, oh, okay, that is actually a real person that's wearing makeup. It's absolutely incredible. So if you're looking for creative content, I absolutely recommend checking out her Instagram account. The next question is, who is a creator you'd like to be friends with in real life? And for this, again, I have 2 answers. The first is Hannah Louise Poston. Hannah is a really smart and introspective YouTube content creator on this platform. Her content tends to focus on things that I'm quite interested in, so beauty, fashion, again, conscious consumerism, but she talks about these things in a way that makes me think that we likely have a lot of similarities, and so I think I would just enjoy being friends with her in real life. She's also had a number of fairly unique experiences, it sounds like, given she's explained in some of her videos where she's grown up, some of her academic background, etc. And I think it'd be really interesting to talk to her about that. The next person that I would like to be friends with in real life is Kelly Gooch. So Kelly Gooch seems like a very, very, very kind person. She seems like the type of person who shows up for her friends, who is kind of a girl's girl. And I think that's really charming and nice to see in this day and age. And she seems like she enjoys a lot of the same activities that I do, going to cafes, spending time in New York. And so I think we could have a lot of fun if we were friends. The next question is, who is a creator that I hope to see grow? And for this, I have 3 answers. The first is Kara from Beauty and the Frizz. Kara is an incredibly talented working mom who does YouTube on the side, and she seems to excel at all of those things. I think that the number of followers that she has on her channel is not reflective of the amount of work that she's put into her channel. She's consistent, and I think that's something that is really respectable given her other commitments. So in terms of deserving to grow, absolutely, she deserves it. The next person that I think deserves to grow is Chic Geek Makeup. She has an absolutely lovely channel. She has a very calming presence. If you're the type of person that needs a low-key type person talking about makeup to enjoy watching YouTube content, I think she is a great person to watch. And similar to Kara from Beauty and the Frizz, she is very consistent in her uploads, and that's something that I've always appreciated as a viewer. Lastly, I'm going to mention Belle Michelle, that's her Instagram handle, who goes by the name Unproductive Bestie on YouTube. She does a lot of fashion content, but she's really funny. She comes up with creative ideas, and I really enjoy her fashion videos. She doesn't have that many followers at this point in time, so I really hope that she does manage to get them over the course of time. And I'm just one of the viewers that's here to help her accomplish that. One thing I'll mention is that I tend to watch YouTube content creators who are on the smaller side. So even Mimmels or Mimleys, who I mentioned earlier, I follow her on Instagram and not YouTube. But on YouTube, the people that I watch tend to be people who have below 200k subscribers. There might be a few people I'm subscribed to who have more than that, but I don't tend to watch their content. I find that the vast majority of the content that I'm interested in really comes kind of at two levels. It's either the people who are around or sub 10k subscribers, and then people who are around or above 100k subscribers. There's a few people in between 10k and 100k that I follow. It just, for whatever reason, it seems like those are really the sweet spots for the people who make the kind of content that I'm interested in watching. The next question is, who is a creator who gives off good vibes? And for this I have to say Linda from Glitter Fallout, who is the person that I originally got this tag video idea from. So Glitter Fallout is a fabulous channel. I think what really comes across in Linda's videos is that she seems to be incredibly earnest. I have a soft spot in my heart for when I see people trying. I think it takes a lot of guts and courage to go after something where you might fail. And from what I can tell, Glitter Fallout works a full-time job and does YouTube on the side, as many of the creators that I've mentioned thus far in this video do. Glitter Fallout seems like the type of person who would be down to go get drinks after work or go to a party and have a fun time, listen to music, sort of all of the fun activities that one might enjoy when going out. She also seems like the type of person who might enjoy a quiet night in as well, and that's something that I really appreciate. She seems like she's just a very happy person who's optimistic about the future, who's grateful for where she is in life, and I think gratefulness is something that a lot of people can work on, myself included at times, and for that she gives off good vibes. The next question is, who is a creator that could convince you to buy anything? And for this, I don't have an answer. There are times that I've been influenced in the past to buy certain things, but I don't find that that happens all that often nowadays. And if it does, it's usually a product that I was interested in previously, and then I happen to see a few YouTubers perhaps review it, and they all end up really liking it. Then I weigh that review against whether or not it makes sense to add to my collection, whether or not I want to even purchase it to add it to my collection, and oftentimes I just find myself not buying the product at the end of the day. So it takes a lot to get me to buy a product just to start with, let alone a product that I don't actually want. So for this, unfortunately, I don't have an answer. And the next question is, who is a content creator that calms you? For this, my answer is Eileen from Colorful Noir. If you're not familiar with Eileen's content, she does videos on luxury minimalism. And I think that she has a very calming way of speaking and way of editing her videos. So if I'm looking for a really nicely edited 15-minute video about luxury from someone that doesn't have a bunch of clutter or stuff, she's a really great person to watch to satisfy that. It's a bit difficult to give a description of exactly what her vibe is like, but she tends to be very calm and very level-headed, and so that's something that has a relaxing effect on me as a viewer. So that's it for this tag video. I'm going to include a link to the Instagram and YouTube accounts of the people that I've mentioned based on where I tend to follow them in the description below. And I hope you'll consider checking them out because I think everyone that I've mentioned makes absolutely great content that is worthy of being watched by many people. If you like this content, I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to do more than that, I'll have a few links in the description that you can use for other ways to support me. And I'd love to hear from you. Who are some of the content creators you watch that you would recommend to others? And if you yourself decide to do this tag video, please let me know because I'd love to watch it. Before I go, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope you'll be back again soon. Bye! So I go back and watch much of their backlog.